Hey guys, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching and commenting and encouraging me because I'll be honest, this thing's been really frustrating lately and I've really just wanted to push it in here and forget about it because having two 5 mile test drives in a row is pretty rough. Taking two motors out in 10 miles. But everybody that likes watching and everybody that makes comments and that really does help me. It just I'm doing this for me because it's fun and I do enjoy it, but it gets frustrating sometimes. It does for everybody. And that encouragement, man, definitely helps. It definitely helps. It's why this thing, as you can see, it's all smoky. It's been running, it's back together. We still got to test drive it, but that's why it's here and it's not just sitting in a garage for another couple of years because I got frustrated with it. So I just wanted to say thanks. I genuinely appreciate it. All right, you already know. New day, new 5.9 Magnum. Doing a lot of these, but yeah, let's put a motor together and hopefully it doesn't blow up this time. And here is our next victim. I mean, motor. So it's like a 99 2000, I don't know, it's a later 5.9. Got it all tore down. Everything looks good. It's actually one of the cleaner motors I've definitely had, which is kind of nice. So I might do what everybody's been telling me. I'm actually gonna pop number one out right now and I'm gonna measure the ring gap. And then I will decide whether I'm going to gap the rings or not. But I'm actually gonna measure it. So let me pop that out and see what we've got for factory ring gap on. I wanna say this is like a 200,000 mile motor. I think that's what he told me, but honestly, it looks much cleaner than some lower mile motors I've had, so maybe this one was just better taken care of. Or maybe it is a little bit lower mile. But either way, it's got some ridge at the top. It's got a decent amount of miles on it. We'll see what a stock 5.9 with a lot of miles is gapped at. Alright, I got number one popped out. I got the top ring pushed down in the bore. You can see I got the feeler gauges in there. It's all squared up, used an old piston I had, and alright, that's what I had in there. So 32 thousandths on the top ring. That is plenty for boost. That is plenty. It's all squared up, it's all good. I'm not gapping these rings. I measured them, they're at 32. I mean, that's probably what I would have gapped them to. I was looking for anything over like 26, 28. And I was going to gap them to maybe 30, 32. It's already at 32. If I go any wider, I don't really think it's going to be beneficial. So that's what a stock 200,000-ish mile 5.9 Magnum's gapped at, is like 32. It seems plenty good enough for boost not to mess with it. So let's move on. Well, I got number one out. Time for upgrade number one. So what we've got here, this one on the left, is an ARP rod bolt, and then this one on the right is the stock rod bolt. So this should really up the ability of these bolts and rods to stick together. These ARP fasteners are so much stronger than the stock ones. They're made of much better material, and they seem like they're a little bit thicker and a little shorter. So got to get all these swapped in. So I got to pop all the pistons out, swap the rod bolts, get them back in, and then we can move on to mains. But yeah, this is hopefully going to up the stock bottom end limit from 800 foot-pounds. Please work. Got the odd side rod bolts all swapped out. I gotta flip the motor over, but here you can see, so that's an ARP, nice big built-in washer, real beefy, and then there's a little stock guy. So hopefully these ARPs will do the trick. Got them pressed in, lubed up, torqued down, bearings cleaned up and lubed up. So now I just got to rotate the motor over to the other side, and hopefully I will have a bottom end that will hold more than 800 foot-pounds. Am I going to put 800 to it? I shouldn't, but I probably will. Rod bolts are all done, and now it's time to do some ARP main bolts. So I thought about studs, but I guess I bought bolts, but whatever. So on the left is the stock bolt, on the right is the ARP, all lubed up. I'm just going to swap them one by one and go, and that way I don't have to really mess with anything. Do I really need these? I don't know, but I'm getting tired of putting motors together, and if I'm going to put ARP rod bolts in, I might as well put ARP main bolts. It's just a little bit of extra insurance to keep the bottom end of this thing together. I mean, it's still stock crank, stock piston, stock rods, but at least I've got some better hardware in it. I'll get all these swapped over and torqued down, and short block should be, oh no, still gotta do the cam. Bottom end's all buttoned up, got one of my spare Dakota pans on, fresh pan gasket, ARP stuff's all torqued down. It's coming along, it's coming along. Let's hope we can keep this pan in one piece without any extra holes. This is one of my nicer pans. Luckily I blew holes in the old crappy pan I had, but she's coming. Hopefully this thing holds together. Fresh head gaskets in. I feel like I am single-handedly keeping them in business right now, but hey, they work, they don't leak. Reuse the head studs. Just gotta slap the heads on this thing, and then it can get shoved back in the 51, and we can go party with this thing. Motor's fully assembled, heads are on, torqued, got all the valve train back in, distributor stabbed in pretty close. Got fresh spark plugs in it, everything looks good, so next victim is up and running. She's ready to go in, just gotta throw it in there, and we can go try to test drive it again. Well, I've been slowly working on this thing in my free time, haven't had a whole lot of time to work on it, but I've got the motor back in, and I can't drive it today because it's like monsoon season all of a sudden. We went straight from snow to monsoon, so I've been kind of just messing with it today. But I decided to fix something that has bugged me ever since we built it. And let me show that to you. Alright, so what I'm talking about is we've got the wastegate right here. And when we did the very first Cletuson cars, this was open and it just sucked all the heat right back in. So I made a pipe that just kind of shot straight down, and that was boring. I've been wanting to fix it, so I finally fixed it. So here's my new wastegate spot. Got this guy tucked out there. So it basically loops down underneath, kicks up and around, and that is gonna look sweet. And I'm hoping, because it's so short, that when this thing opens, you'll get a flame out of it. Really, really hoping, because that would be sweet. But I'm super pumped at how well that turned out. The thing fits in there nice. Hopefully it won't rattle too much. It's pretty solid, but I'm really happy with that. Now I just gotta keep adding coolant, jump inside, change the tune, because I'm gonna do that before I do anything. And then we can fire it up for the first time. Alright, let's see if she fires up and if she's happy. Been doing this a lot. And when you do something a lot, you get really good at it, and then you get really bad at it because you forget what you didn't do. Because you remember doing it, even though it wasn't this time. Alright, let's try to key up. Doesn't seem like the fuel pump really did anything. Let's see if the fuel pump relay's in. Alright, fuel pump relay was not in. But I also just remembered I didn't set the timing. I dropped the distributor in, but I didn't actually set it. So, I'm gonna have to go up there and make sure that thing's timed in right. Alright, now the timing is set. Let's try this again. Neutral. That's weird. Why do we have no fire? Why do we have no fire? Let's make sure everything's plugged in. Let's two. But down here's the coils. That's plugged in. I got my ground wire. Ground wire's on. Let's check this side. Yep, these are the coils right here. Alright, so she should fire. Let me check the ground. Yep, ground's good. Alright, I guess I'll just keep cranking it and see if it comes alive. Let's check fuses. Okay, we also have a relay out here. What is that? Coil. It looks like I pulled a bunch of relays. I don't know why I didn't notice that. I put the fuel pump relay back in. That would have been smart. Well, I would guess she's going to pop pretty good now because she's got a lot of fuel in her and had no spark. Well, she's got oil pressure. 70 pounds of oil pressure. And the belt's going to make noise. Oh, it's awful. God, that's awful. Smells like E85. Smells great. Sounds pretty good.